We've all experienced anxiety in some form or another throughout our lifetime. Rushing to work when we're late, completing a job task when it's time sensitive. That's normal anxiety, that's normal worry. Generalized anxiety disorder, on the other hand, is overwhelming worry, agitation, anxiety that interferes with job function, that interferes with sleep, that interferes with relationships, that interferes with life in general. Don't necessarily understand the reason that it's there, but it is, and that's generalized anxiety disorder. Social anxiety is fear of being in social situations, fear of being criticized or ridiculed, and avoidance of social situations because of that. Panic disorder, on the other hand, is a type of anxiety where there's an overwhelming sense of doom, overwhelming sense that maybe you're going to die, so much so that you rush into the emergency room and declare that you're having a heart attack. Help me, help me. Then there's the phobias. Phobias are fear of flying, fear of driving on freeways. And when individuals have fear of flying, fear of driving on freeways or other phobias, they avoid those situations so that they can relieve the anxiety that it creates. Obsessive compulsive disorders are another form of anxiety, and the classic is the individual has a germ phobia and washes their hands repetitively to free themselves of the germ and avoid it invading their bodies and making them sick and maybe even die. So that's obsessive compulsive disorder, that repetitive behavior that goes on throughout the day in order to avoid something. Finally, there's post-traumatic stress disorder, and that's really where the focus is today. Post-traumatic stress disorder over the years has had a variety of names. After World War I, it was called shell shock. After World War II, it was renamed into battle fatigue. Later, as psychologists, mental health professionals, and health professionals began to understand it, they labeled it post-traumatic stress disorder. That is reliving or re-witnessing an event that occurred that was emotionally traumatic creates a sense of great anxiety and a great sense of emotional discomfort. Not funny, but the interesting phenomenon about post-traumatic stress disorder is witnessing a traumatic event may be as powerful as actually experiencing the traumatic event. So seeing a disastrous motor vehicle crash may be more emotionally powerful than actually being in the vehicle and experience it real time. So that's post-traumatic stress disorder, and it causes flashbacks. There are triggers that are associated with it that bring up an overwhelming sense of anxiety, which interferes with functioning and interferes with work and play and life in general. I live in two interesting worlds professionally. On one hand, I'm lucky to deliver babies. I am lucky to take care of newborn infants. On the other hand, in the practice that I'm in, I deal with a lot of emotional illness, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, even mental health. When I'm in the newborn nursery and I'm looking down at that beautiful new life that wants only to be warm, wants to be carefully fed, wants to be held, wants to be talked with, wants to be protected, wants to be given some creature comforts to grow and to thrive. I wonder what happens, why it is that 40 years from then, that beautiful, delicate, innocent child has severe mental illness, substance abuse, inability to cope with society. I wonder what happens. Well, psychologists have come up with the term adverse childhood experiences. There are also adverse adult experiences. And this is the physical, emotional, sexual, and financial abuse that can happen to a child and can happen to an adult. And it's important to remember that trauma is in the mind of the traumatized. And if they're repetitive, And if they're cumulative in one or all of its forms, and if they happened in childhood, and if they happened in adulthood, personal and social and mental disarray ensue. And we call that mental illness. This is Dr. Jim for Be Healthy, Be Happy. Power your path to happiness. Be kind, be supportive, be caring, take care of your loved ones. And subscribe to Be Healthy, Be Happy with Dr. Jim on YouTube.